Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We welcome you all to the Professor Carlo Fonseka Memorial Interbatch Debate. I'm sure some of you might have stayed to witness the previous debate. And as you all know, we are doing this as an event celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya. This competition is consisting of 3 rounds in both English and Sinhala. Round 1, the semifinals, and then the finals. The first round will be held today and tomorrow, and the semifinals will be held next week, followed by the finals, which will be a live show. Since this is in the memory of Professor Carlo Fonseka, I would like to give a small briefing about him. Professor Carlo Fonseka was born in 1933. He was educated at the St. Joseph's College, Colombo, and the Colombo Medical Faculty. In 1991, he became the found dean of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya. He was a renowned physiology lecturer, a former president of SLMC, and he had contributed immensely to free education. Not only did he excel in the medical field, he was also a lyricist and a musician. He would have been extremely happy to see such an event organized in his memory. Now let's move on to the debate. Today, the debate will be between batch 29 versus batch 30. The topic for the debate is Sri Lankan school children should or should not be taught religion in their school curriculum. The proposition will be batch 30, and they will be speaking on the topic Sri Lankan school children should be taught religion in their school curriculum. And the opposition will be batch 29, and they will be opposing the said topic, saying that Sri Lankan school children should not be taught religion in their school curriculum. These teams and topics were selected based on a fair draw, which was done with the presence of all the captains. Each speaker will be given 4 minutes to present their points, and the captains of both teams will get 5 minutes each for their rebuttal speech. Now it's time to introduce our judges. We have 3 judges today. Dr. Latika Atauda, lecturer, Department of Public Health, Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya. Dr. Atula Samarakon, senior lecturer in Politics and International Studies, Department of Social Sciences at the Open University of Sri Lanka. And Dr. Chaminda Abesingha, senior lecturer, Department of International Studies, Faculty of Social Sciences, University of Kelaniya. Now, I'd like to invite the proposition team captain, Sithiji De Silva, to introduce their team members.
Hello everyone, I'm Sithiji De Silva. I'm the captain of the proposition team, and we have Krishani Prabhagar as our second speaker, and our third speaker is Aishana Bewardana, and our fourth speaker is Jandu Kanaratna, and we have Shavindi Gunratna and Chalandi Piris as our 5th and 6th reserve positions.
Thank you. Now I'd like to invite the opposition team captain, Udaran Selva, to introduce their team members.
So good morning, everyone. So today we have Udaran Selva, the opposition team captain, and we have Dihan Kaldera as the second speaker, Zainab Nazir as the third speaker, Romain Vijayawardena as the fourth speaker, and Evin Kamage and Oshadi Jayasena as reserve 1 and 2.
Thank you very much. Without further ado, we shall move on to witness an exciting battle between these 2 teams. First, I would like to invite the captain of the proposition team to build the proposition base. Can the Zoom coordinator please spotlight the speaker? I hope the timer screen is visible to you.
Give me a minute until I put the timer screen. Okay. Am I clearly visible and audible?
Yes, you're visible and audible. And you may begin speaking when the timer screen turns green.
Sri Lankan school children should be taught religion in their school curriculum. Sri Lankan school children, who are school children? School children by definition are the children who are between the ages of 5 to 18 who receive school education. And Sri Lankan school children are different from that of the school children from the other Western countries. Sri Lankan school children are even more attached to their religion and even more attached to their cultural backgrounds and closely related to the religion. Taught. This is one of the most important words in this topic. Taught is to impart knowledge. Taught does not imply indoctrination or imposement of beliefs or ideologies. The act of teaching does not manipulate. It merely educates and enlightens the children. Religion. As we all know, religion is the system of faith, worship, belief, and attitudes. And religion is defined in different countries and different religions in different ways. But the core fundamental teachings of all religions come down to a place of love, harmony, and peace. Leaving the definition of school curriculum to the base argument, I would like to turn to the base argument of the proposition. The base argument of the proposition is built up upon three main fundamental questions that we will answer and prove throughout the debate by the proposition team. So the first thing is, why is religion so important in a Sri Lankan context? The second is why we need to teach children religion. The third thing is why we need to take this teaching into a school curriculum. According to the Gallup polls, which is a well-credited poll, it is proven that 99% of Sri Lankans believe that religion plays a very important role in their day-to-day lives. And there is no debate about this. This is an already proven fact that religion is already an important aspect in the Sri Lankans' lives. So why is it necessary that we teach this religion to the children? It's so necessary because all the academic guidelines of all countries, they have understood that teaching religion inspires children to become better people. And also teaching religion is an important aspect of developmental health in the aspects of mental, social, and spiritual well-being. Teaching a religion makes the education system a well-rounded education. Good relationships are made. It pulls people together. It makes you understand about yourself and it makes you understand about the other person. So this is the kind of society that we need to build. So this is an essential part. Religion has to be taught in school. And why the proposition believes that this should be taken into the school curriculum? Well, we all know children are mostly influencing the aspects of education mostly by the school, especially in Sri Lanka. We have free education system and almost all the children have the privilege to go to a school. And if we need to address this situation of education, the best platform to address is teaching it through a school curriculum. And also what's so special about the school curriculum is that it's a well-reformed, standardized, managed lessons and academic content that is taught in the school. And in making a curriculum, it's not just made of a day or two. Huge amount of research is involved in all the steps of incorporation of national goals and basic competencies, subject competencies, suitability of the study, teaching methods, learning processes, global trends, national trends. All of these things are taken into consideration when we make the curriculum. So exposure and education must be given in order to make a rational choice. The Constitution gives us the freedom of thought, conscious and religion freedom, but in order to fully experience this religious freedom, we need to have knowledge. We need to have education to make our decision. We need to have that exposure. We need to have that educational system in a proper way to make a rational choice about what we choose as our religion. So that's why the proposition strongly believes that Sri Lankan school children should be taught religion in their school curriculum. Thank you.
Thank you. We heard the base of the proposition team. Let's see what the opposition base will be. I'd like to invite the captain of the opposition team to present your base and arguments. Zoom coordinator, can you please spotlight? Okay. I hope the timer screen is visible to you.
Yes, can you see me clearly and can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can. You may begin when the timer screen turns green.
Honorable adjudicators, ladies and gentlemen, this is the opposition. The topic of our debate today is that Sri Lankan school children should not be taught religion. I repeat, religion in their school curriculum. Allow me to give you the definition of some of the keywords that our proposition has cleverly manipulated to fit their needs. According to Oxford English Dictionary, religion is defined as belief or acknowledgement of some superhuman power or powers, especially God or gods, which is typically manifested in obedience, reverence, and worship as a mean for achieving spiritual or mental improvement. School curriculum, according to Oxford reference, is the totality of specified learning opportunities available in one educational institution. And the elements of school curriculum includes goals and objectives, the subject matter, learning experiences, and most importantly, evaluation. If you look at the current Sri Lankan curriculum, the only religions taught are Buddhism, Saivanari, Catholicism, Christianity, and Islam. And a student should sit either one of these exams, whether he belongs to it or not, whether he likes it or not, in order to get a basic educational qualification, as religion is one of the six main mandatory subjects in the GCE ordinary level examination. Our second speaker will be stressing on why the current system of education, where religion is taught as a subject, is failing, as it is not instilling the basic morals and ethics into a person. Our third speaker will show you that teaching religion in school doesn't make an impact in reducing cultural polarization, social superiority, extremism, and misunderstandings leading to inter-religious conflicts. The fourth speaker will prove to you that teaching religion in school as a subject will violate basic human rights and many other regulations in Sri Lanka and in the world. The opposition, just imagine this situation. You go to this restaurant filled with the most delicious dishes or desserts. But the only problem is you only have a certain amount of appetite or an amount that you could fill yourself in with. So if given the opportunity, would you feast yourself on one specific dish till you could know more? Or would you like either try some of the best bits from each and every one of those dishes? Similarly, school education comprises of a very short period. I say it's a very short period because compared to the amount of years, 50, 60 years that student is going to pass out and be in that real society, this period is a really short period. And in this short period, just could be imagined just like our appetite. So why do you need to force feed this religion he or she was born in this very short span? The goal of education is not to produce priests, monks, or other religious leaders. The goal of education, according to the Ministry of Health, is students who acquire knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values to be future citizens who will perform their roles efficiently and effectively in a modern, globalized, knowledge-driven economy. And in order to receive this goal, there is no need for a student to be taught religion in school. If you actually want to make priests, monks, or other religious leaders, there are various other opportunities which our other speakers will talk on. So what we propose is introduce a subject called morals and ethics, comprising of good values and virtues extracted from various religions, good sayings from great philosophers, biographies, and the right way to live and lead the life from history, literature, and various other sources, and inculcate them and add them to the syllabus and put them as a subject called morals and ethics. So that is the better way to do this than having a subject called religion, which proves to be useless to obtain the basic goals that the Ministry of Education has specified. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we all have a clear idea of the basis of both the proposition and opposition teams. Let's see what the second proposition speaker has to build up and elaborate on the topic. I hope the time is
Hello, Nesmi, you can see me.
Yes, we can. Okay, you may begin when the timer indicates the green light.
Sri Lankan children should be taught religion in the school curriculum. This is what the proposition is proposing. And as a second speaker, I would like to further elaborate the base argument that was proposed by our captain. So our base argument contains three main points. Why religion is important, especially for children. Second point is why religion is important in the Sri Lankan setting. And third thing is why religion should be taught in schools. Why are schools the best medium? Talking about the first point, why is religion needed for children, we can further break that into two main points, the social benefit and the psychological benefits. For both of these health, for both psychological and social health, we need religion, and religion has to be taught for children. So according to the University of Texas, according to an article that they have published, that religious studies help to develop social competence and psychological adjustment. For both of these things, social competence and psychological adjustment, religious studies are mandatory. Secondly, according to an article that was proposed by the Council of UK, social benefits are humongous. We get a lot of social benefits by religious education. Just to highlight a few, based on the points that the opposition brought up, religious education will help combat extremism. This is a proven fact. It will help combat extremism and also help children to engage in global affairs. So the social benefit is humongous. Then if we talk about the psychological benefits, according to an article that was published by the International Journal of Mental Health, there are again a lot of benefits about religious education. You can develop good stress management processes. You can develop proper response for stimuli. You can develop good coping mechanism, you can develop good self-esteem, and you feel connected to the society. So both psychologically and socially, the religious education is necessary for adolescent health to combat all of the health issues that we have now. Secondly, why is it important in the Sri Lankan setting? If you look at the statistics as brought up by our captain, nearly 99% of Sri Lankans are following a faith. The majority of Sri Lankans are religious. Just 0.13% do not have any faith. So for the majority, religion is important. Secondly, you cannot say this is only important for old people. According to a survey that was done in 2016, most students and most youth were reacting positively to religious events. So Sri Lanka is a very religious country. This has been again proved by our census and also this survey. So we have proved both that is beneficial for the adolescent, and secondly that it has a benefit in the Sri Lankan society, Sri Lanka being a very religious society. Thirdly, why is it important to be introduced inside the school curriculum? School is the best method in which we can teach any important subject for our children. Why? Firstly, it's more efficient. Why? Because according to the 2016 school census, nearly 99% of children enrolled in school. So school is the main medium in which children get education. So like, and also other points which our captain highlighting the fact that it is more accessible since it's free and also it can be easily controlled, can also be talked about here. So we have proved three main points of our base argument, why it is essential for school education, why is it essential for Sri Lankan setting, and thirdly, why is it essential for adolescent. Thirdly, talking about the opposition's base. Opposition's base was dependent on three main factors. The first thing they brought up was the fact that children do not get the opportunity to choose or not. I would like to ask again, so will you also ask for the opportunity to choose whether you need to study science or maths? No, it has been scientifically proved that until people get to a certain cognitive level, they have to be exposed to a number of religions. That has again been proved by our base statement. Our captain has proved that thing too. So your base argument has been broken. Secondly, they have brought up a lot of problems stating like extremism and all of those things. Again, that has been broken by our base because we have provided you proof, which will be further proved by our third speaker, Aishan. And thirdly, they brought about the dish analogy, saying that you want to taste a lot of things. Again, that has been proved by our base. Our captain clearly stated that we have to introduce multi-religion. So the third point has also been broken. So all three main points that you can brought up in your base argument has been broken. Thank you.
Thank you. We all witnessed what the second proposition speaker had to say. Now let's move on to the second speaker from the opposition team. I hope the timer screen is visible to you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. You can begin when the timer indicates the green light.
So, however many holy words you speak, or however many holy words you read, if you do not act upon them, what good is it? This was said by Lord Buddha. Good morning, everyone. Today I will be showing to you the disadvantages of teaching religion in our school curriculum. So, firstly, when we take religion, religion is an important and a compulsory subject when it comes to the O-level curriculum. So, what happens is the student's perspective is changed about the religion. We know that religion is a way of life. It should be practiced. But when it comes to the Sri Lankan curriculum, they are forced to study facts and verses and large amounts of things so that they can pass the exam rather than practically applying these in their life. So we see that they lack empathy and self-discipline and all the virtues that are properly highlighted in these religions. So this is very well evident when we look at the statistics. We can see that Sri Lanka ranks number 29 when it comes to suicide. And we know that suicide stems from the fact that there is a lot of emotional instability, especially amongst adolescents. And then when we come to the gender-based violence, especially in Sri Lanka, we can see that in a recent study conducted in 2019 by the Women Development, it was found that 1 in 5 all partner women experience some sort of a physical and sexual abuse. So if religion is imparting these values into these children, how can this occur? How can this not properly stop and stifle these things? And secondly, when we come to the Sri Lankan school setup, we have a multi-religious country, as the proposition said. So when it comes to the school setup, religion is an important subject. They have to study. So when the religion period comes, what happens? All these children divide themselves and they go to different places. From a small age, they are led to believe that they are different. They start seeing the differences rather than the similarities and start segregating themselves according to cliques, because we know different religions have different cultural backgrounds. And when it comes to this, certain religions, for an example, if you take the Islam people, they like to speak, most of them speak in Tamil. While Hindus, they speak in Tamil. The Christians, they mainly speak in English. And so these differences are much more highlighted when it comes to the curriculum, because they have to study religion because they have to do their O-levels. And then next, when we come to the O-level curriculum once again, when many students will be entering into the faith-based schools, which we see in our country. We have Catholic schools, we have Islam schools, we have Hindu schools. So a majority of these schools promote their own faith. So when it comes to the minority who do not belong to that particular faith, what happens? They have to change their faith because these schools have better facilities and better reputation. So they have to change themselves in order to acclimatize into this situation. And their parents have no choice but to change their perspectives and put their children and deprive them of the time which they could have used to learn something else. And also, so does this mean that religion is bad? Of course not. And the opposition said that the proposition said that religion is not indoctrinating. I like to disagree with that, because a religion in itself intrinsically contains beliefs, and we know these beliefs are religious propositions. So what is a proposition? A proposition is a thing that is not being proven by science. So each religion have propositions. So these propositions are not proven by science, and it's not the indoctrination cannot be stopped because of this. So what are the alternatives we can have? The best alternative is the Sunday school system. When we look at the Sunday school system is a very good opportunity. Research done by the Georgia Baptist Convention in USA found that 83% of its believers that involved in the Sunday school system were better equipped with the faith, and they were practicing it well 5 years afterwards. So we can see the Sunday school system can be a very good opportunity. Moreover, when it comes to religion, it contains a lot of contrasting beliefs. For an example, homosexuality in Islam and in Christianity is prohibited. And if a child is having same-sex attraction, what will be his mindset when he's learning this religion for 11 straight years? He said that homosexuals are sinners, they are bad, they should go to hell. And what do you think this has a direct implication to the suicide rate? So we can clearly see that having religion as a compulsory subject rather than something that should be pursued, that's something that should be practiced in your lives in the curriculum, will lead to a lot of problems. Thank you.
Thank you. We have heard some very interesting arguments so far. Now let's move on to the third speaker from the proposition. I hope the timer screen is visible to you.
Yes, the time screen is visible.
Okay, you may begin speaking when the timer indicates the green light.
Good morning, honorable judges and dear opposition. First of all, before I start my speech, I'd like to state a few facts about what the first speaker said. The first speaker said that they defined religion. First of all, they said this ludicrous definition of religion. Yes, it is in the Oxford Dictionary. But is the normal person in Sri Lanka going to know this definition? We have a social understanding about religion in our context, and that is the one we should be going with, because the definition of Oxford, no one's going to know about the definition in Oxford. So we, as Sri Lankans, as stated by our first speaker, we have a lifestyle based on religion. And also, the first speaker said that moral ethics as a subject. Dear opposition, why moral ethics? We are teaching moral ethics in religion. You are basically saying, stop religion. This word religion we don't like, but we want to teach religion. So why don't we teach moral ethics, but not call it religion? That's what you're saying. That is what your argument is based on. Now, the first speaker also said, we want more dishes. If you go to a restaurant, we don't want one dish, we want all the dishes. Well, as the third speaker of the opposition, of the proposition, I would like to give you all the dishes. So what I'm going to say is, no, we don't have to stick to one religion. So what we are suggesting is not, our topic isn't teach Buddhism. Our topic isn't teach Christianity in schools. We are saying teach religion in schools. We don't have to stick to one religion. We don't have to stick to the religion that was our parents' religion. We can teach all religions and all cultures and give them the children the fundamental basis, not everything about Christianity and everything about Buddhism, just the fundamental understanding of all religions. So children have can interact and understand everyone else and live in harmony. And this isn't something ludicrous, and this is something that doesn't exist. This is a well-established system in the world. For example, in England, the religious education is a compulsory subject in the state education system in England. And students from ages 5 to 19 students learn about diverse religions and worldviews, including Christianity and other principal religions, which include Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, and list goes on. They teach all the fundamentals of everything. And this was taken from the Religious Education Council of United Kingdom. And this isn't just a westernized thing that we can't understand. This doesn't just happen in England and Australia. This even happens in Botswana. So what we are suggesting is have this multi-religious system in our country also. We're not saying the current system is perfect and the current system is doing really well. We are saying religion should be taught in school, not that the current system is perfect. Now, if we do teach religion, we give children the necessary understanding and the necessary knowledge needed for them to follow or preach or do whatever with their imagination, what they want. We are not saying these children should preach and follow this religion, these children to do this. If the child wants to follow Buddhism, fine. If the child wants to follow Hinduism and Christian, that's also fine. If the child wants to not follow any religion at all, it is also fine. We are only going to teach them the basics and fundamentals so they can choose their own path. We are only teaching, we are not forcing anyone anything. And if we do not teach religion in schools, what will happen? The children will, what is the only other exposure children get to other than schools? Their parents. If their parents, they'll get Buddhist influence. If they're Hindu, they'll only get Hindu influence. They don't know what the other people are doing, what the other people believes, and that's what causes problems. Not knowing is the thing that causes problems, not this. And the right, everyone in the world has a right to follow religion. That is a basic fundamental right that we all have. And if children don't know about other religions, if a child doesn't know Islam and doesn't know anything about it, will he ever follow Islam? No, he will follow what their parents taught them. And this is, if we don't teach religion in schools, that is basically taking away the basic human right of following any religion, which I think is a very serious, which is the seriousness of the opposition is suggesting. And the opposition also talked about the Sunday schools. You also talked about the multi-religions. If you go to Sunday schools, will they teach Islam? No, they won't teach Islam, they'll teach Buddhism. If you go to the mosque, they'll only teach only Islam. If in the school, they can teach everything and learn everything and get a fundamental idea on all those aspects. And also, and he talked about these facts about suicide rates is high and suicide rates is high, extremism is there. Is teaching religion in schools, is that why what's causing all these problems? No, it's the lack of knowledge that's causing all these problems. Removing teaching religion from schools won't eradicate that. Teach them properly. And we as the proposition base our argument saying that religion should be taught in school and it should be taught in a proper setting, which is in a standardized manner, which can only happen in school. And the opposition rests. Thank you. Over to you, contestant.
Thank you. Those were some strong points from the third proposition speaker. Now let's see what the third opposition speaker has to say. I hope the timer screen is visible to you.
So can you hear me and see me?
Yes, we can. You can begin when the time indicates the green light.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank the third speaker of the proposition for making our argument easy. So let's take a simple scenario which has been happening in Sri Lanka for years. A 6-year-old child gets admission to the school. He starts studying his birth religion from grade 1 itself. Single religion, 11 textbook for 11 years. And the end, he is forced to sit for religion papers as a compulsory subject in oral examination. Whether he likes or not, a single subject is being drilled into his young mind. He doesn't get to know more about other religions in Sri Lanka because most of the schools in Sri Lanka are single faith schools. So once he comes out of the school, he gets exposed to the society consisting various religion and cultural groups. Automatically, as a human mind, he starts to see the differences between the group rather than the similarities. A question pops into his head. Why? Why are they different from us? Why do they do this, do that, so many? First, many fail to understand that all religion convey the same message, that is spread love. As a result, we can witness interreligious and intercultural disputes, like Easter Sunday attack in 2019, the Ghana riot in 2018, Catholic Buddhist in 1883, Catholic Buddhist riot in 1883. So if you think that the Sri Lanka 99% of those believe in religion, and you think that religion, taking religion as a subject in the curriculum teaches them the moral values, virtues, and everything, but still, can you see there are intermittent rises in the interreligious disputes in Sri Lanka? So what is the basis for that? Does that make an impact? And also in these instances, the external factors play a minor role, but a major role played is by not understanding the morality and ethics. Because if you include it, whether it is a single religion or multi-religion in the curriculum, most of the students will study it for the sake of passing exams, for the sake of impressing teachers, for the sake of getting marks. And also in schools, we were taught in Sri Lanka that 70% are Buddhists, 12% Hindus, 9% Muslims, 7% Christians. And also we are taught that most Christians are Roman Catholic and most Muslims are Sunnis. We are constantly being reminded of the majority and minority about the differences based on the name of religion and fail to grasp the similarities. And the second speaker mentioned that religion benefits, teaching religion has social and psychological benefits. My dear proposition, we are saying you can teach, yes, religion has social and psychological benefits, but without implementing a subject name as religion, you can implement it as a moral and social subject. Well, you're saying, yes, it is important that we should understand that all religions are similar. So you can take that and including everything, you can keep it as a subject. And also about the multi-religion. If you take a grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 child, do they have the capability to understand all the multi-religion in Sri Lanka? And how many are going to include? Just Christianity, Islam, and there are some other more minority religion here, more than those 4. And as you said, school is the main place. So you ask, why are you going to including the morals and ethics in school? Because school is the main place to receive education. Yes, that's what you are also saying. So school is the main place to receive education. We are not saying that you should not teach religion. We are saying that you can have it as an extracurricular activity, like we have sports. So during sports meet, we gain the sportsmanship. Like that, you can have extracurricular activities, like in the celebrating religious festivals together, and like asking others to explain about their religion, but rather than keeping it as a subject. We are talking about the curriculum, not about the teaching religion. So let me recapitulate my point. Implementing a subject called religion in the curriculum, irrespective of single or multiple, constantly reminds the differences and intentionally or unintentionally competes the child to study rather than encouraging him or her to grasp the morals and messages conveyed in order to become a better human being. Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's move on to the final speakers before the rebuttal speech round. I'd like to invite the fourth speaker from the proposition team.
Can I know if I'm visible and audible? I connected to.
Yeah, I hope the timer screen is visible to you.
Give me 1 second. Am I audible and visible?
Yes. Okay, you can start when the timer indicates the green light.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I get into addressing the questions and the arguments that have been raised by the members of the proposition, I would like to firstly begin a few more arguments that we as the proposition believe are very important further to reinforce our stance in this debate. Firstly, I would like to mention the religious values that religious education adds to the children. I would like to cite a Pew Research poll which says that active religious people are more likely to describe themselves as happy compared to the less religious counterparts. Active religious people are less likely to smoke and drink, and I think we as future medical professionals should understand the importance of this. Active religious people are more likely to join societies like charities and clubs that are involved in humanitarian efforts. Active religious people are also more likely to vote. So it's quite obvious that by teaching religion in schools, we instill these values into children and we instill these values into society as well. Secondly, another prominent research, Springer Science, says that spirituality and religiousness has been linked to increased happiness in adolescents and adults. Children that are more spiritual are more happy, and it accounts for 27% of the difference in the happiness between children due to the spirituality. Other sciences like life science says that children with religious parents are better behaved and well adjusted. Those who attend religious sessions are more self-controlled and react better disciplined. Also, religious families have better family lives as well. So it's quite clear that throughout this debate that we've been talking about things that can be incorporated through religious education into the lives of people. Now, to come into the arguments that have been raised by the members of the opposition. Firstly, it's quite apparent that the opposition is more interested in debating the linguistics of the topic more than they are in debating the actual content of the debate, because there's no point arguing over the Oxford definition of religion. The Oxford definition of religion is not what is accepted by the people of the world. Secondly, he says whether people like it or not, they will have to learn it in school. I'm sorry, but that's actually the truth for science and maths and any other subject that you might not like to learn. So why are you singling out religion? It's only because the topic says so. Secondly, you said that by teaching religion, it was actually a point echoed by most of you. You said by even though we have religious education in the country, we have suicides, we have violence, gender-based violence, the Easter Sunday attacks, the riots, the anti-Muslim riots. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to challenge you to link these attacks and the suicides to the presence of religious education. How can you come to this random conclusion that simply because there are bad things in society related to religion, that is a result of religious education in schools? It's quite clear that the religious education in school is not meant to create this, will not create this. We've argued throughout this debate the values and the fundamentals that we can implement by teaching religion. Secondly, you've also said to introduce a moral and ethics subject. Ladies and gentlemen, what is this hate towards religion? If you're if the opposition themselves admit that you can teach morals and ethics through religion, why do you want to get rid of the religious component? We've already established that 99% of Sri Lankans believe that religion is an important part of their life. So why are you taking that away from 99% of this country and removing the religion and focusing only on the morals? We've said this throughout, incorporate everything, because it's important to us. No matter what you say, it's important to the people of this country that we learn religion in our schools. Another point that the second speaker brought up is a religious indoctrination. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not arguing that we should be indoctrinating children in schools. We're simply saying religion, we should be educating in school. And there is a clear difference. We are not indoctrinating children in schools. There is no proof to suggest that we're indoctrinating children in schools. If it is done, it should not be done. We are very clear on that particular regard. The points raised by the third speaker. She said there are other minority religions. We agree there are other minority religions. In fact, let me direct you to the 2012 census. Only 6,400 out of the 20 million people in this country, right? 6,400 out of 20 million said that they belong to a religion that is not taught in the school. And also, one final point, which is the main point that I would like to bring up. What will the opposition expect by removing religion from school? Because none of what you have said, firstly, it's not linked to religious education in school. And by removing it, you will not get rid of all the negative things that you mentioned in your speeches as well. So I think it's very clear that children should be taught religious education in school. Thank you.
Thank you. A strong base was developed by the fourth proposition speaker. And now let's move on to the fourth speaker from the opposition team.
Can you see and hear me?
Yes, we can. I hope the timer screen is visible to you.
Yes.
Okay, you can begin speaking when the time indicates the green light.
Good morning, everyone. Dear proposition, teaching religion as a subject in today's school curriculum is actually violating so many human rights and rules and regulations in the country. Article 10 of the Constitution of Sri Lanka clearly states that every person is entitled to freedom of thought, conscience, religion, including the freedom to have or to adopt a religion or belief of his choice. But on the day a child enters a school, he or she is given a religion. That means she is completely deprived of this right. Parents are forced to choose a religion for their children so that they can follow it in school. Also, let's not forget that the Constitution states that they can follow any belief. That means students have the right to follow that there is no God. But due to the current curriculum where religion is taught, they should definitely choose a religion. Also, the Declaration of Human Rights and the Convention on the Rights of the Child clearly states that all children have the right to choose his or her religion. They also say children of all minorities of ethnicities, religions, and languages have the privilege, has the right to practice their cultures within the society. But what's happening in Sri Lanka? There are schools in Sri Lanka where religious teaching is limited to only one religion. So these students, when they enter with an agreement that they will follow that particular religion. Also, take the all-level syllabus. Only few religions are given as the subject. Hinduism, Catholicism, Christianity, Buddhism, and Islam. What about all the other religions in Sri Lanka, like the Baha'is, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Anglicans? What about them? And also, we are going to teach religion to mere 6-year-olds. Teaching religion to mere 6-year-olds confines them into a box of limited information, limited exposure, and they are completely deprived of their right and opportunity to select a religion that is based on their faiths, based on their beliefs. They are discouraged to develop their beliefs throughout their life. And there are interracial marriages happening in Sri Lanka, interreligious marriages. Even these couples, where they have a mutual understanding about one another's religion, are forced to choose a religion for their child. And they are unable to give them their freedom. Also, moving on to some of the points brought up by the proposition. They said that religion helps to form a person spiritually, mentally, physically, all that. We have other subjects to that. We have aesthetic subject. We have music. We have arts. We have dancing. We have life skills. We can teach them sports. We have other subjects developed socially and psychologically. And they also said because Sri Lanka is the majority of Sri Lankans are religious, and only 0.1, only 1% is not religious. So because 99% of the Sri Lankans are religious, we have to completely remove the rights of that 1%. They are completely ignoring them, which is against the constitution of the Sri Lanka. And they said that we should ignore the Oxford Dictionary meaning and accept the social understanding of religion. What is the social understanding of religion? No one expects to go to a religion period and learn about all the religions. Religion means a belief, to follow one God, to follow a religion, follow beliefs. That is the social understanding. So the social understanding is also what we are saying is creating a negative impact on teaching religion. That is why we should not teach religion in schools. Furthermore, one of the speakers said that UK is providing multi-religious opportunities. Let me take one sentence from the curriculum. They say that the locally agreed syllabus teaches mainly Christian and taking account of the practices of other principal religious respect. So they are giving the predominance or the dominance to the religion Christianity. That is what the UK curriculum says. Also, at any point, we are not saying that we do not we hate religion. We have never said that. We say that religion is good, but the school curriculum is not the place to teach religion. There can be Sunday schools. That's the way to preserve their rights. They can go and practice their religion in Sunday schools. They are preserving it. At any point, we are not saying that we hate religion. We are saying that religion should not be taught in schools. Thank you.
Thank you. All 8 speakers have spoken, and now it's time to move on to the rebuttal speech round. This is the last chance for the opposition team to present their arguments, and for that, I'd like to invite the opposition team leader to deliver the rebuttal speech. I hope the timer screen is visible to you.
Yes, can you see me clearly and can you hear me clearly?
Yes. You can start speaking when the time indicates the green light.
Well, I should say, and I should accept the fact that the proposing team is doing a good job, but they could have done even better job if they could actually stick to what is mentioned in the topic. The topic of the debate is Sri Lankan schools should teach religion, not religions, in their school curricula. So let me tell you that if you don't know the meaning of religion, religion is either Buddhism, either Hinduism, either Islam, or either Christianity. If you call it, there's a clear-cut plural word for religion. Religions is the addition of all these stuff. So if you, the first speaker, the second speaker, the third speaker, what they were telling is teach multiple religions. So if you want to teach multiple religions, say there are 5 main religions, plus, but according to what our fourth speaker mentioned, there are various other religions in the country. So are you proposing to teach all 8 subjects of a day as religion, only religion and nothing else? Don't you want to teach all the other mandatory subjects? So which comes to a conclusion. They need to teach the basic and most important stuff from each and every one of those religions. Ultimately, coming to the point that we proposed, extract all the good stuff from various religions, extract all the good stuff from philosophers, from biographies, and add it into a curriculum and make the children learn that. So indirectly, from this point, the proposition has already agreed to a point. Secondly, the first speaker, the second speaker, and third speaker also mentioned that 99% of Sri Lankan believe in religion. Now, did we say that we don't believe in religion? I belong to the 99% one. But the topic here is not that. The topic here is, do we believe in religion? It's not whether we believe in or not in religion. It's whether, but the goal of education, the goal of making students who have attitudes and values, the goal mentioned by the Ministry of Education, could we achieve that goal by just teaching the subject religion, as in Buddhism as Buddhism, Hinduism as Hinduism, Islam as Islam? No, it cannot, because all children need to have a basic understanding of all the other religions. Say, we never disagree to the point that Buddhism teaches good, Hinduism teaches good stuff, Islam teaches good stuff. Yes, Buddhism teaches about promoting love to all human beings. Islamism teaches about helping the poor people. So what we're asking is it wrong for a Muslim child, for an Islam child to know about love and promoting loving all human beings? Is it wrong for a Buddhist child to know about helping the poor people? And the most important thing, what the third speaker mentioned is, he asked me what is morality and ethics and why do we need to include it in the system? So let me tell you some indexes. According to the Global Peace Index, which says the safest country to live in 2021, which is evaluated based on levels of social safety and security and extent of ongoing domestic violence. So if you take the levels of social safety and security, it depends on the levels of perceived criminality in society, the number of homicides per 100,000 people, level of violent crime, likelihood of violent demonstration, number of jail population per 100,000 people. So according to this, similar countries which have the same cultural background as us, which nearly follow the same religions as us, such as Singapore and Japan, are placed 11th and 12th in this ranking. And what's more surprising, those countries only teach moral education as a subject in their curriculum, which is exactly what we mentioned, the moral education. And what is even more interesting is Sri Lanka. Your Sri Lanka, which is teaching religion currently, is placed 95th in this ranking. So if you say that already the moral values and the moral ethics are going, yes, I know that it is in the religions, but if it is actually going to the children, going to the students, and they actually make meaning out of that, why we still be in the 95th ranking and not in the first 20 or first 10? And what is more important is Ireland, which is placed first in this ranking, is also having included, has included moral education as their subject in the curriculum and not a subject as religion. Moral education again is comprising of good stuff extracted from all religions, ignoring some of the bad and irrelevant stuff to this culture. Example, homosexuality. Example, like men are greater than women. That is said in some religions. Those stuff, maybe they were relevant during their times or during when the religion was found, but it is not relevant at this present moment. So we need to exclude all that stuff. Why are we teaching all them right now? We need to take them off and only teach what is necessary right now. The third speaker also, right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a strong comeback from the opposition. Will the proposition be able to top it? To deliver the rebuttal speech from the proposition, I invite the proposition team leader. I hope the time is visible. Yes.
Yes, I can see. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are. You may begin when the time indicates the green light.
Rejection of the base argument of the opposition. So the base argument of the opposition consisted of 4 main facts. The first one, it's religious teaching is forceful teaching. The second one, that the school education has its goals, and by religious teaching, it does not fulfill these particular goals. The third argument is that it is not necessary that we should take this religious teaching out of the school curriculum and it should be taught elsewhere, which is outside the school in an institution. Fourth argument is that we should take this as the moral studies. Well, let me address these 4 base arguments of the opposition. The first one is forceful teaching. Well, the curriculum of Sri Lanka is not just made by just the visions of one person. It is made by expertise and by the knowledge of many, many educators. Sri Lanka has done the curriculum development research in 2014, and Sri Lankan school curriculum processes of planning, curriculum presentation, curriculum implementation, and assessment, that we have reached a saturation by the expertise, that they have mentioned this in the in this research article. So we have a well-reformed and well-regulated curriculum which decides that teaching religion is very important. So just because opposition captain says teaching religion is a forceful amount of teaching, it's not. It is decided by a well-mannered curriculum that it's a needed amount of teaching. Then you might also say, but I don't like mathematics, so teaching mathematics is also forceful teaching. Teaching science is also forceful teaching. It does not go like that. And the second argument. The second argument, they say the school's educational goals are knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values. Well, knowledge, math, science, skills, technical subjects. So what's going to represents two main important goals. But if we take out this religion from school curriculum, these values and attitudes of the children will not be addressed. So what they think it has to be done in their third base argument is that it's necessary to take this out from the school and taught it somewhere else, like in a Sunday school. Who is going to regulate the Sunday school? Who is going to regulate what's going to be taught in the Sunday school? No, the most accessible form of regulation is regulating a school curriculum. And that's why we think it's the most necessary part to include this in the school curriculum. And if you can remember, in 2019 March, 1,000 madrasas were closed down because they promoted extremism. But still, Islam is taught in schools without any problem because it's a well-regulated curriculum. So this is what's important about school education and not taking it elsewhere. If you want to go learn it from elsewhere, it's okay, you have the freedom, but you need to regulate this, whatever you teach the children through a school curriculum, and that's why we think school curriculum is necessary. And moral studies, well, don't play with the words. What they're suggesting is, okay, let's just change this, whatever that's taught by the religion, into another thing called moral studies and teach it here. Well, just because you manipulate and play with the words, it does not take this core foundation out of the debate. If you take out all the extracts from religions and teach it as moral studies just by changing the name, you're still fundamentally teaching religion in school. And you're at the fourth base argument, the captain himself agrees that we should teach religion in school. So as a base argument, the four factors are done. I'd like to turn to the second speaker. So the second speaker says that forceful study of facts and verses is done in school. And second speaker again and again said the learning religion in a very nice way, in a very better way is important without just studying facts. That's what we say as well. Learning religion is important. If you're just studying facts, maybe that's not important. But with that, obviously, your core values, foundation, all of these things are developed along the process. And he also said that the suicide, gender-based violence, it's rising in Sri Lanka. Exactly, that is why we say we need to teach them more moral values through religion. And most religions, suicide is addressed as a sin. So it adds values to the teaching of the values of life. So taking religion out of the curriculum is not the answer. In fact, we need to teach them more religion. And also, the second speaker said that there are certain differences that children feel when they have to take the religion class in separate classrooms. Well, comparing and contrasting religious differences from a smaller time provides the opportunity for these children to accept these differences as adults when they're actually going to the society. Just by putting it under a mat and not teaching them this religion when they're schooling and exposing them to a whole new society where the actual religions do exist, they will find what is this, what's this contrast? But if they're exposed to this, they will always have that freedom. So they have talked about moral studies over and over again, and we have proved the fact that they were playing with words, and also they've told that it should be taken out from the school curriculum and to be taught in other institutions, but we have rejected that argument as well. So as a whole, the proposition argument of that religion should be taught in school to school children remains unworkable. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we all witnessed a great battle between these two teams, and we can say for sure it was a very tight one. Both teams did extremely well.